You ever feel like you're just experiencing life? Like life is just passing you by and going through the motions? I believe when we get to know God, and I mean truly get to know God, we can achieve the purpose that we were meant to. This is exactly where we find ourselves in Matthew 16:6. Jesus talking to the disciples and he's asking them, "Who do people say I am?" And they say, "John the Baptist," or a prophet. Jesus says, "Who do you say I am?" And this is one of his disciples' answers. Simon Peter answered, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." Jesus replied, "Blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for this was not revealed to you by flesh and blood, but by my Father in heaven. And I tell you that you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not overcome it." Imagine Jesus saying that about you, saying that you're going to be a foundational part of his kingdom, and that the gates of Hades will not overcome it. How inspiring is that? And that's exactly what came about Peter. He was very instrumental in the early church, and he did a lot of great things for the gospel. Because of his obedience, a lot of people got to hear the good word of God. And I can say the same for myself. Before I knew God, I was very lost. I knew about God, but I didn't really know God. I didn't have a relationship with him. And so when I found God, I found my true purpose in life. I know exactly what I'm meant to do. I know exactly how I'm supposed to do it. And now that I have God in my life, I feel like I can achieve anything. He's given me peace. He's given me purpose. He's given me a lot of stability in my life. Have you ever been in a situation where it was bad at first, but in retrospect, it turned out to be a good thing? A personal example of mine is once I was in a car wreck, and I had already been in a car wreck previously, and I still had to fix that problem. So I was already discouraged because I was like, man, I have to go through insurance, I have to go through repairs, all this stuff. Turns out the other person was found at fault, and so their insurance was able to cover the initial crash and then the previous one that had to get fixed as well. So even though it seemed bad at the moment, in retrospect, it was something good for me. This is where Peter found himself in Matthew 16:22. Jesus was telling his disciples that he was going to die and then be raised again, basically tell them what's going to happen and why they had to happen. But Peter was having none of it, and this is what he tells Jesus. Peter took him aside and began to rebuke him. "Never, Lord," he said. "This shall never happen to you." Jesus turned and said to Peter, "Get behind me, Satan. You are a stumbling block to me. You do not have in mind the concerns of God, but merely human concerns." I get it. What Peter was going through, I think I would go through as well. Jesus, why would you say that? You're doing so much good for the world. You're doing so great. Why would you want to die and then be raised again? Because we have a very human outlook on life. We can only see what we see. And I get it. It's a hard concept to wrap your head around, especially when you see the world around us. How could God possibly have a plan for this? There's so much death, there's so much destruction, so much greed, so much selfishness. How could God have a plan for this? And the only thing I can tell you is that I don't know the answers. I do know that God tells us very explicitly that we live in a broken world, a sinful world, where sin is what dominates this world. I believe if all of us had a relationship with God, every single person on earth had a relationship with God, the world would look more different. I believe people would be take care of each other. People would be a lot more caring. People wouldn't be as selfish. Now, would that stop the bad things from happening? Not at all. Sickness would still exist. Natural disaster would still exist. But it would look a lot better if everyone had a relationship with God. When we allow God into our lives, the bad stuff does not stop happening. But God gives us perspective when the bad stuff starts happening to know that, you know what, maybe it's not so bad. Maybe there is a way. Maybe there's a lesson here. So it does change your perspective a little bit. What does a healthy relationship look like? Is it strong communication? Is it spending quality time together? Is it being there for each other? Is it doing favors for each other? This is what Jesus is telling his disciples. He's setting the framework of what a strong relationship with God looks like. So let's read Matthew 16:24-26. Then Jesus said to his disciples, "Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. For whoever wants to save their lives will lose it. But whoever loses their life for me will find it. What good will it be for someone to gain the whole world yet forfeit their soul? Or what can anyone give in exchange for their soul?" To me, that sounds like a lot of sacrifice, a lot of daily sacrifice, a lot of choosing God every single day. The world has a lot to offer us, but it will never replace a relationship with God. No amount of money, no job, no relationship, nothing in this world will ever fill that God-sized hole in our hearts. And going to church once a week simply isn't enough. It has to be a daily thing. If you're in a relationship, you wouldn't talk to your significant other once a week for a few hours and then ignore them the rest of the week. That wouldn't be considered a healthy relationship. So we have to put the same effort into our relationship with God. And one of the main ways that we can do that is by communicating with God, by praying to him. And an easy way to pray to God is just like how you would talk to any other person. You wake up in the morning on your way to work, pray to God. Tell him, "Hey God, I hope I have a good day. Hope you protect me on this day." You come out of work, "Hey God, work was kind of stressful today. It wasn't that great, but hey, I'm still alive." And just by doing something so small like that, your relationship with God will grow a lot more. And you'll see yourself getting closer to him, trusting him more, feeling his peace more. It'll change your life completely.